There's a specific moment most people like you can remember. You said something, an observation, a connection you'd made, a question that felt obvious to you, and the room went quiet in a way that told you everything. Not impressed quiet. Just not following. And you filed that away, the way you file everything, and you got a little more careful about what you said out loud after that. If that landed, stay with me. Because what I'm about to describe isn't a personality type or a quirk. It's a specific cognitive pattern. And most people who have it spent years being told they were too much, too intense, or living too far inside their own head. Sign 1. You don't just have thoughts. You have thoughts about your thoughts. Most people think, and then act on what they think. You think, then examine why you thought it, then question whether that reason is actually the real reason, then consider what the thought says about you. It's recursive in a way that can feel like a curse and occasionally feels like a superpower. Psychologists call this metacognition, thinking about thinking. Research consistently shows it's associated with higher cognitive flexibility and better decision-making over time. It's also associated with keeping you up at 2 a.m. dissecting a conversation from 3 weeks ago. Both things are true. Sign 2. You connect things that have no obvious connection. Someone mentions a news story. You've already linked it to something from history, something from a book you read 2 years ago, and a pattern you noticed in your own life. The connection feels self-evident to you. When you try to explain it, you can see the moment people lose the thread. This is called associative thinking, the ability to find non-obvious relationships between unrelated concepts. It's the cognitive signature of creative and innovative thinkers. The problem is it moves fast, skips steps other people need, and arrives at conclusions that look like leaps from the outside and feel like obvious logic from the inside. Sign 3. You notice what's missing, not just what's there. In a conversation, you hear the thing that wasn't said. In an argument, you identify the assumption no one examined. In a plan, you immediately see the gap everyone else will discover in 3 months. This is a form of critical thinking that functions almost like a background process. It runs without you choosing to run it. It's useful. It's also exhausting, and it makes certain social situations feel like watching a film with obvious plot holes while everyone around you is fully absorbed in the story. You don't want to be the one who points it out, but you already can't unsee it. Sign 4. You need to understand the why before you can move. Instructions without reasoning feel incomplete to you. Rules without logic feel arbitrary and therefore optional. You genuinely cannot fully commit to something you don't understand the reason for, not because you're being difficult, but because your brain hasn't finished processing yet. This need for underlying logic is a documented trait in what researchers call need for cognition, a measurable tendency to engage in and enjoy effortful thinking. People high in this trait don't just want to know what. They need to know why, and then why behind that why, before the thing feels solid enough to stand on. Sign 5. You process slowly and arrive somewhere different. Group conversations can feel like everyone else got the memo on the pace. Responses come fast, topics move on, and you're still 3 turns back finishing a thought that went somewhere genuinely interesting. In meetings, you sometimes leave having not said the most useful thing in your head because the moment passed before you were ready. This isn't slowness. It's depth. The same processing that takes longer in real time is what produces insights that didn't occur to anyone else in the room. The trade-off is real, but so is the output. Sign 6. You hold contradictions without needing to resolve them. Most people find cognitive discomfort in holding 2 conflicting ideas simultaneously. You find it almost natural. You can understand both sides of something so completely that people sometimes mistake it for indecisiveness or not having an opinion. You have an opinion. It's just more complicated than a side. The ability to tolerate ambiguity, what psychologists call integrative complexity, is one of the strongest predictors of sophisticated reasoning. Leaders, researchers, and creative thinkers score unusually high on it. The cost is that the world keeps asking you to simplify, to pick, to just say what you think. And the simplified version always feels like a lie. Sign 7. You've always felt slightly out of time with the people around you. Not above them. Not separate by choice. Just calibrated differently. Like you're operating on a slightly different frequency and have spent years developing translation skills to function in a world that wasn't quite designed for how your mind works. Here's what that actually means. It means you adapted. You learned to edit yourself, to meet people where they were, to save certain thoughts for certain people, to perform a version of your thinking that was legible to the room. That took intelligence, and effort, and a level of self-awareness that most people never develop at all. The mind that thinks differently isn't a problem to be managed. It's a specific kind of architecture that was never going to look the same as the standard blueprint. And maybe the most important thing you can do with it is stop explaining it as a flaw and start building something with it instead. You've been doing the hard part your whole life. The part where you figure out how to exist in a world that thinks differently than you do. That's not a small thing.